Fantasy football podcast called Living the Stream comes to you each week. Streaming recommendations during NFL season, it's not just tongue-in-cheek. Quarterback, defense, tight end recommendations based on opposition matchup. Here are your podcast hosts, JJ Zacharyson and Danny Carter, living the stream.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Living the Stream. I'm JJ Zacharyson, the late round quarterback, and as always, I am joined by my lovely flannel co-host, Danny Carter. Denny, how's it going, buddy?
The flannel has been broken out. You're right.
What's the temp up there? What's the temp up there right now?
It's like 65 actually, so it's a little warm for this. If I go outside today, which I haven't done in 3 weeks, I may have to shed the flannel and just go t-shirt. But yeah, I have lots of flannel in my old dad hood here.
I didn't know if it was like you're getting over COVID and you still needed to keep warm. And so how's the COVID body doing right now?
The COVID body is ravaged, but okay.
Did it get better after last week?
Oh yeah, like yeah. I don't want to. I've tried desperately not to gross people out, but the drainage happened. You know, and boy, oh boy, was it something. It was many are calling it epic. I was calling it the grossest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. But we're good for now. And hey, I guess the good thing about that is that I don't have to worry about COVID for the next 60 days.
Yeah. However long. I've heard that this is going to go down in the history books as the Great Drainage.
Drainage, Eli. As Daniel Day-Lewis said. I
don't know how long is the are you immune to COVID for?
I remember when it was new, it was like 90 days, but I don't keep track of that because it would just give me too much anxiety. So I just decided not to. I will say, JJ, I drank many of my powdered Gatorade Zeros last week because I wanted to stay hydrated. And so I was drinking at least one, sometimes two of those a day. And you told me that you went out and you bought yourself some little packets.
I did. I'm also now realizing that I didn't shave in my same pattern that I typically shave. So I have a longer beard than normal. Does it look okay? Do you think the beard this length is okay?
I think it looks great on you. I mean, you are very beardy. I will say that.
I can be beardy. I feel like my facial hair needs to be on your body with that flannel.
That it would be perfect. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the facial hair that my wife wants on me would go well with this facial hair, with this flannel. I mean, she wants a Father John Misty beard down to my belt.
I'm a little bit shook right now. We're not getting any comments on YouTube, and I'm hoping and praying that I didn't set it up incorrectly. But regardless, yes. So my daughter and I, we have a Publix that they built. You know, the grocery store Publix. We have a Publix that they built literally at one of the entrances at our neighborhood, right? And so we can very easily get, like, that's our easy to go to grocery. There we go. We have some comments. All right, we're good. That's our like easy go-to grocery store whenever we're picking stuff up. We usually go to Harris Teeter because it's just the place that we like their groceries more than Publix. No offense to Publix. If you want to sponsor our show, that's fine.
Yeah. Not now.
My daughter Avery loves to go. She loves Publix. She had a dance class where at the beginning of their dance, this is last year. So, she's like 4 years old at the time. And the dance instructor was like, tell me what your favorite place to go is. And people were like, Disney World. And and Avery said Publix. Like, she loves Publix.
Wow.
Yeah. Like she's obsessed with Publix. And so yesterday my wife went out to pick up CJ from daycare, and Avery and I were chilling, hanging out. She's starting to get into video games a little bit more, and I'm 1,000,000% on board with that, of course. And so we're sitting there, we're playing old school Sega on the Switch, because you can get all the different platforms, like the old systems on your Switch. And we were playing Sonic Spinball. Do you remember Sonic Spinball?
I do remember that. Yeah.
So we're playing Sonic Spinball, and I'm like, you know what? Let's go to Publix. Let's just make a quick run, get some snacks, get some fruit, whatever. So we go to Publix, and I'm like, I see the Gatorade packages, the packet, and I go and I grab one. Glacier Freeze is my flavor, for the record.
Yeah, the white one, right?
Yeah, well, it turns blue inside.
Oh, it's blue. Sorry.
Yeah, so I have a little cup here that I put it in. You can kind of see
I can see the reflection of the blue.
It kind of looks like a swimming pool, like in the reflection of the cup right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got it right here. I decided to pour one and make one before this show in honor of our conversation last week.
They're great.
It's just so good. It's so good. If we really need a sponsor, we need that. This is what we need.
Gatorade Zero, folks. And by the way, we have commenters now. They said that they were scared of your stubble. I think that there was so much testosterone emanating from the podcast that people were a little bit scared off. But we have everybody here. We have all our longtime listeners. Mallory. We have Bethany Q Peters the 9th. We have Tyler. We have Jeremy. We have Tyler again. We have Victor. Everybody's here.
Yeah. The folks are here. And Tyler did make the comment that says, dang, JJ spends $4.99 a month on the Switch sub to play online and such. Which, yeah, I mean, look, when you have a third row in your dishwasher, what do you think I'm going to do? Of course, I'm going to buy the $4.99 a month online Switch. Of course, that's going to happen.
I mean, look, you put that on the old credit card, you never even see it. It's like that charge doesn't even happen.
I honestly forgot that I was paying for that until Tyler's comment.
I went through some of my subs, as the kids call them, the other day, and wow, I was subbing to a lot of stuff that I don't use. So
it's bad. It's really, really bad. They say that cutting the cord and getting away from these like conglomerates, if you will, is a good thing. No, it's horrible. There's so many choices, and I am not someone who's good at saying no to something that's entertainment driven.
Well, you should say it was good. Like back in 2016, it actually made a lot of sense to cut the cord and to be like, hey, instead of paying $150 a month, I'm going to pay combined $60, $50 a month, right? For these streaming services. Yeah. But then the streaming services, they all broke their stuff into a million pieces. And now we pay $10 per show to watch, basically.
Right.
So we were not allowed to enjoy that, but man, for about 6 months, that was fun as hell. You actually felt like you were getting over on corporations, and they said, absolutely not. You have to put 30% of your annual income toward entertainment, or we will not survive. Which is
the worst part too, is that if there's a specific show that you want to watch on one of these platforms, then you're not sinking in just for that show for that month when you watch that show. Right. You're sinking in for the next 3 years because you forgot that you subscribed for that month for that show.
That's exactly right. By the way, Netflix says, "Oh, we started at $7 a month." Folks, I don't know what you all are paying. I'm not paying $7 a month. I'm paying.
I took out a second. Yeah, I took out a second mortgage for my Netflix account. Yeah,
it was either a new car or Netflix. We had to go with the Netflix.
Yeah, of course, naturally. So you know what I also realized, Denny, earlier today, is that we're in 2 leagues together. I think we're just in an Apex and the LTS listener league together this year, as we are most years. And if I'm being honest, through the years, I've done pretty well in both of those leagues, right?
You've done very well.
And this year, I'm atrocious in those 2 specific leagues. I've won 1 game in the LTS. My team is so down bad in the LTS listener league that I don't even know how to function. I am not used to this. Not only
you're not,
league, but I don't say this as but I'm good at fantasy football. I'm okay with saying that because that's literally what I do, and that's fine. I'm very bad at a lot of things, but fantasy football I'm generally good at. The Apex League, freaking Bijan Robinson. I have Bijan in both of those leagues for the record.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, and this past week, we had that conversation after week 1 about players that we wish we had more of. And one of them was that you wanted more Bijan Robinson.
Yes.
And I said, I have so much Bijan Robinson, which has been an okay, time. He hasn't been bad by any means. And this past week, I lost a matchup by less than a point while having Bijan Robinson in my lineup.
Oh, stop.
I swear. It's one of the worst experiences I've ever had. Including getting my appendix removed. I mean, I would rather get my appendix removed again than have to experience Arthur Smith doing that with Bijan Robinson.
Oh, that's right. I just figured you were going to say you got your your stuff rocked in both leagues.
No.
without Bijan.
I did in Apex. I did in the LTS league and in Apex. I was not going to win, but like it's just I am down bad in those leagues specifically, and I just want to let you know that I know that I'm not doing well in those leagues. I know.
Well, I'm not counting you out in either league, honestly, because you're very good at fantasy football. And actually, you, Rich Rebar, Mike Clay, guys, you guys are such grinders that I never count you out, especially in a deep league like the LTS league. Like I feel like you're going to make a move like now that's going to pay off so big in the coming weeks. And so I'm not getting ahead of myself at all. Like I don't know how many games ahead of you I am, but there's like a 50-50 chance I'm going to finish behind you this year.
No, guys, I cannot even describe how bad my team is. Like it's funny. Yahoo like keeps track of your record like all time and stuff like that. And I'm really? You know how I am with like any competition, any game, right? Like anything that's game driven, I'm in. Whether it's like video games, even like, you have to understand your environment. But if I'm playing like a board game with friends or something, as opposed to like family members, I'm not going to get competitive over that. But like, I'll be competitive about it. Like I want to try to win. And so this year, all of my bad teams, except for Apex, are on Yahoo. I have 5 leagues on Yahoo, and like 2 or 3 of the 5 are basically my worst teams in fantasy this season of the many leagues that I'm in. And it's just so tilting because that's the one platform that tracks your record year over year, overall, all that stuff. And it gets to me. It gets to me.
Well, listen, if it makes you feel any better, and it won't, in Apex, I made all the wrong calls this week on start sits, and I won by 100. So that, it worked.
I go back. I remember vividly, you and I were close to each other in that draft. Yes. And I decided at the 5-6 turn that I was gonna pass on Jordan Addison, because at the time, and I know that you came around on Addison, so it wasn't, this is like back in, it's like we had the conversation about Addison like July or whatever, and I'm like, I know Denny's kind of like iffy on Addison right now. I'm gonna wait, not get Addison. I'll get him in the next round. I'm gonna get Marquise Brown. And Marquise Brown's been fine, like he's had a fine year, but I didn't get Addison, and then you get Addison one spot before me.
That was tough,
and then I had to settle for Jahan Dotson, and he's been completely worthless.
And here's the worst part. This is the part that really infuriated JJ, and I don't blame him at all. Okay, I would have been equally as mad, if not more mad. I've drafted Addison as my wide receiver 5.
Oh,
there's no reason I should have taken him.
Denny. Just like here's the thing. I've run very, very well in Apex over the last 5 or 6 years. Just very, very well. I had some bad championship losses and stuff, but even getting there and all that, like I've run well in Apex. I needed a bad year in Apex. This is my bad year in Apex. That's despite having Puka Nacua. I'm still bad. I'm still a 4-win team and whatever. It's basically the equivalent of a 2-win team. In a normal league without the median scoring. Anyway, forget about my leagues. No one cares about my leagues. I like to tilt sometimes for people to know that like analysts can have tough times too.
We have tough years. We have tough years. 2 years ago for me was so bad that I was like, why do I even do this?
Yeah. I feel like my advice has been strong this year, and I have some teams that are very, very good, but I just have some teams that are complete S shows, just D-fires all over, DFs all over the place. They're bad. They're bad. All right, let's recap what happened last week. We had Sam Howell only scoring 9.5 fantasy points. Baker Mayfield 16.2. Derek Carr 17.4. Derek Carr had 17.4 fantasy points, and he was trash.
Oh, just the word. My tilt montage is about this, and I go into detail about what should have happened there.
Yeah. Josh Dobbs 16.14. Not really that bad of a week for quarterback streamers. Sam Howell definitely didn't come through, but the other guys did. Luke Musgrave this is actually pretty good tight end week. Luke Musgrave had 7 PPR points. Gerald Everett found the end zone. He had 11.6. Michael Mayer only had 3.3. Jonnu Smith had 5.7. And Taysom and his package had 16.8. Defense, we had the Raiders, only 2 points. Disappointment. The Raiders were a huge disappointment this past week.
Honestly.
The Raiders scored 2. The Commanders had 9. The Buccaneers had 6. And the Packers had 2 as well. So probably a below average week overall, but we've had worse weeks than what we saw last week.
I suppose.
Yeah. It's getting to a point where I mean, this is what happened last year where like everything starts to cluster a little bit. And what I mean by that is like people start to realize which quarterbacks matter, which ones don't. And because there's fewer usable quarterbacks than what we saw 5-6 years ago, plus, we've done this podcast for almost a decade now. It's more difficult for us to find usable quarterbacks in particular. And you're going to see that today on this show because it's rough. It is rough scenes. Why don't you kick things off and let everyone know who our top streaming quarterback is, because it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good at all.
By the way, JJ, I believe this is our 11th season on Living the Stream. So
that's wild.
Yeah, over a decade. Derek Carr is a guy. We're going to go back to him against the Colts. This game has a whopping 43.5 point total, 8th highest of the week. We have that going for us. Look, I mean, I do think that the scoring environment here is somewhat appealing. The Colts opponents this season average almost 71 plays per game, offensive plays per game. That's the highest in the league by a pretty decent margin. The Colts are middle of the road in most pass defense metrics, and the Colts are 26th in pressure rate. And Derek Carr needs that clean pocket in order to actually do some stuff. We could have some regression too. Hey, look, Derek Carr dropped back 59 times and scored 16 fantasy points last week. So let's get that going. The Colts are not a great matchup, but you could do worse.
Yeah, I think you can do worse. I think environment wise, it's not a horrible environment for Carr. It's at least like a dome game and such.
I'm starting Carr in one league. I will say that.
Me too. It's a dead league. It's one of those dead Yahoo leagues that I was talking about. But yeah, I'm still going with him. So we have like 3 secondary quarterbacks I'm just going to get to very quickly. One of them is Jimmy Garoppolo. They're playing Detroit. Detroit's faced the second highest neutral script pass rate this season. Teams are throwing the ball against them a lot more than running it. That's because their pass defense is below average. Rush defense is above average. That's resulted in them being the 11th best matchup for quarterbacks. They're the 3rd worst for running backs. I don't feel great though about Jimmy Garoppolo because it's Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, like are we, you're praying for 13, 14 fantasy points, I think, from a play like that. There's also Gardner Minshew in that same game against Derek Carr. You mentioned a lot of how the Colts are playing offensively. So that's good. Really, this comes down to the Colts have a solid 22-point team total, and the Saints have been an average matchup in adjusted fantasy points allowed. And then the last one, who I think might be, the more that I research, the more that I think about this, he might be the more intriguing, like, secondary option on this list, and that's Baker Mayfield. And I say that, they're playing Buffalo. Buffalo's the 3rd worst matchup in adjusted fantasy points allowed. It looks bad on paper. So they have like an 18.5 implied team total. So people are probably like, why would we play Derek Carr? Well, number one, the Bucs offense is going to have to keep up with Josh Allen in the Bills offense. So there could be more of a pass heavy script for them. But then number 2, and that could lead to more rushing too from Baker, which we've seen at times this year. He had that really long scramble last week. And then number 2, those numbers are a little bit skewed based on what happened earlier in the season. Buffalo is banged up in their defense, like very, very key pieces being out, like Matt Milano and Trey White's out. And so that could lead to, better production. We saw that last week. Mac Jones finishes the top 10 quarterback in fantasy. So the more that I'm thinking about this, the more I might lean Baker as like the deep play as QB2 for our streamers this week.
Quietly, Tampa has turned pass heavy because they have no running game. The Bucs are 11% over their expected drop back rate in back-to-back weeks, JJ, back-to-back. Yeah. Okay. We have a full-on pass heavy scheme in Tampa.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the tight end position. Why don't you kick things off?
Michael Mayer, aka Michael Myers, in this season of Halloween, this spooky season, against the Lions. Look, he remained the primary route running tight end in week 7 for the Raiders against the Bears. The Raiders should have to chase points here against Detroit. I will say that the Raiders are like really, really run heavy overall this season, under their expected drop back rate in 5 of 7 games. So, with that and the fact that Mayer is like well behind Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams in the pecking order makes me a little nervous, but he has some appeal if he continues to run the routes over Austin Hooper.
I'm going to say Dalton Kincaid only because I know that he's probably not available in a lot of your leagues, but we have to at least mention him. Dawson Knox is out now. Kincaid's seen a 20% target share in each of his last 2 healthy games. It's actually the worst matchup by my numbers in adjusted fantasy points allowed. Tampa Bay's been really, really good against the tight end position this season. But even still, there's a 25.5 point implied team total for Buffalo. I mean, I think we're locking in a projection of like a 20% target share for Kincaid moving forward. And that's huge in that offense with his talent. If he's out there in your league, I think you gotta be pretty aggressive in spending. If you need tight end, if you need, like, I think he's a top 10 tight end from here on out this season.
Not in my league. Twitter is marching down to Charlotte with tiki torches right now. They are very, very mad. All right. I have Gerald Everett. This is a really like deep league desperation type option because folks, Gerald Everett only ran a route on 25% of the Chargers dropbacks last week against the Steelers. He did catch 3 of 4 targets and was targeted on 44% of his routes. So he had that going for him, which is very nice. The Bears are a decent matchup for tight ends. They're allowing 7.8 tight end targets per game this year. I think it's a coin flip between whether Donald Parham or Everett is a better option. Honestly, what do you think, JJ? Am I off base there?
Yeah, I mean, I would wonder if there's something going. I haven't seen any reports on him, but I think you got to at least wonder if something happened to Everett, health wise, and if there's something going on there. But yeah, I mean, like if that's what we're gonna see, then yeah, it's a coin flip between the two.
Yeah, the folks are asking about Trey McBridge.
Okay, I'll talk about McBridge real quick.
Sorry. Yes, right.
Yeah, so okay, we talked about Everett. Everett's whatever. Then he got 2 of the whatever plays. I got all the good tight ends.
Yeah,
I really did. But McBride was a late ad, to be fair, because the news about Zach Ertz dropped after we had discussed who we were going to stream. But Trey McBride gets Baltimore. Zach Ertz is on IR. Arizona, for what it's worth, they have the 2nd highest tight end target share this season. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because that means that that's a tight end target share that's with a healthy Zach Ertz and Trey McBride, right? And so that their context needs to be had there. But they are using their tight ends a decent bit. McBride's played about 44% of Arizona's snaps this season. He's peaked at a 58% snap share. I think he's going to see all of their snaps without Zach Ertz in that lineup, which means that there's a very real chance he's going to see a 20 to 22% target share in the offense because there's not that many alternatives. He's talented. I have a beta mode tight end model that will never be an alpha mode because it's I only create beta things. Except for my children. My children are alphas. Just kidding.
What are we talking about? When you were like, I have a beta mode, I was like, yeah, that's my only mode, man. What's going on?
I always said that my tight end model is in beta mode because it's not fully developed yet, right?
Okay.
And then people say that things are in beta mode whenever it's not finished yet and completed. But I guess our children are technically in beta mode because they're not grown-ups yet.
That's right.
Right? They're just all betas. All children are betas.
We know why the West is crumbling.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, my tight end model didn't mind Trey McBride. And so given the fact that he's getting this opportunity, it's a bad matchup against Baltimore, but it's a matchup where they could throw the ball a lot. So I think McBride is a better play than both the tight ends that Denny mentioned. And then the last one, probably the second best play behind only Dalton Kincaid. I would play Dalton Kincaid over Taysom Hill. Would you agree? I
think so, because Juwan Johnson's coming back and that ruins everything.
Yeah. Oh, that's true too. But Taysom Hill has seen route participations of 62% and 71% over his last 2. That peaked from weeks 1 through 5 at 43%. He's seen target shares of 17.4 and 9.4% over his last 2 games. So basically he's getting some receptions now, but then on top of that, we know that historically he's been used at the goal line. And so there's the upside of the touchdowns plus seeing some work through the air. Even with Juwan Johnson coming back, I would still, expect them to ease him in / maybe continue to use Taysom the way they've been using him. So yeah, I would say Kincaid is easily the number one. maybe put McBride and Hill in one tier, and then Denny's boys in the last tier.
Yeah, I worry about Taysom's ever expanding package actually shrinking this week because he was only running around on 25% of the dropbacks before Juwan Johnson's injury. You're right about, Johnson's been out for 2 or 3 weeks. He has the calf injury. They're probably not going to jam him back into like a full complement of routes, but it stinks. It stinks because that Taysom thing was fun as hell last couple weeks. I don't think we see it again until and if Johnson misses more time.
Yeah. So just keep an eye too on the Juwan Johnson thing and see if he's active or not this week. All right, let's move on to defenses, Denny. There's a lot of like not mid defenses. I think they're a little bit better than mid, but there's a lot of like just like above average defensive plays this week. Why don't you kick things off?
Yeah, look, the Chargers are 8.5-point favorites at home against the Bears and Tyson Bagent. You gotta believe that Brandon Staley can do something with that. I feel like they're like in desperation mode at this point, and the offense is really not cooking. I do think I was talking with Pat Doherty on the Roto World Football Show about the fact that Bagent seemed workable, usable from an NFL sense last week. Could fall apart here on the road. Big underdogs. Hopefully they'll force the Bears into a pass heavy script. That could be good.
That's the thing that I don't think people realize. Like last week with the Bears, they were in this positive game script. So they were able to run the ball a lot and really take a conservative approach. Tyson Bagent's like average of the target was like less than 3 yards. Like it was like nothing. Like he did not throw the ball down the field at all. I think I saw that I was looking at some numbers, and only 14% of his dropbacks or his pass attempts went more than 9 air yards. So like he was throwing it behind the sticks constantly in that game. And if you get an offense that can actually move the ball against Chicago, then all of a sudden you have Tyson Bagent having to do something more with his arm, and that creates a lot of opportunity for your defensive streamer.
It could be great, actually. Now that I'm seeing it in my mind's eye now, the Bears fall down 2 touchdowns, and the Chargers can tee off. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with. So I have the Packers on here against Minnesota as like a deep play. I did my rankings, my defensive rankings, and they actually like ranked a lot lower than I expected them to rank. But Minnesota's coming off a Monday Night Football game. They have a slightly shortened week as a result. The Vikings have actually been the 11th best matchup for opposing defenses this year in adjusted fantasy points allowed. So they've been, a plus matchup overall. The Packers, one of the reasons why I think the matchup is there is that the Packers have a decent pass defense. They have a bottom half run defense. And then the Vikings, as we know, they throw the ball more than any other team in football. So it's actually one where they could be kind of throwing in and playing into the Packers' strengths. And then the Packers also have the 6th best pressure rate in football this season. So I think that they're an okay enough play. The over-under here is only 42.5 according to FanDuel Sportsbook. I just think that there's a lot of other defenses out there that you can go with, and you don't need to force the issue. Like if you're spending FOB on any of the, I think you can just spend $1 this week because there's just a lot of defenses that are sort of grouped together.
Are we calling it FOB or are we calling it FAB?
I've always called it FOB because the AA, right? I know that now people say free agent budget, and I've continued saying the A for the free agent auction budget, which isn't as PC anymore. But the AA gives me the ah sound instead of the ah sound.
You're right. I think technically your linguistic study here bears fruit. I believe you are correct.
You're the journalism major.
Am I? I forget about all that. I don't have time to read all that. Texans playing the Panthers in Carolina. No one wins in Carolina. I'm kidding. Everyone wins in Carolina. Look, Bryce Young has been bad. The Texans defense has actually not been great in a lot of metrics that I looked at very strongly. I looked very strongly into something to tell you folks. But if the Texans get ahead here, man, how bad? Oh my gosh, how bad is this going to be for Panthers fans if CJ Stroud comes out and just rips this team? Oh my goodness, it's going to be a nightmare for Bryce Young truthers.
Yeah, it's tough scenes here in Charlotte, man. tough scenes. They are what the kids call down bad.
I will say that the switching of the play callers was a good call. I think that'll help a lot, because whatever Frank Reich was doing was not working.
And let's hope they use Chuba Hubbard more, because he's been better than Miles Sanders all season long.
Yeah, and Frank Reich came out and said, "Look, hey, we love Miles Sanders. We adore him. We would do anything for him except for actually play him. We're not sure about that."
Yeah, the Miles Sanders stuff in the offseason, people were literally drafting him because of a meeting in an office with Frank Reich. And to be fair, Sanders was being used as a pass catcher and was seeing decent target shares to start the season. But you got to, there's just more to it. I mean, he's never been an efficient. He's been an efficient pass catcher once in his NFL career.
I do want to say I apologize for bringing up Bryce Young. I told the folks that I would not talk about Bryce Young until his NFL career was over. I jumped the gun.
Okay. I'm going to go two more defenses. They're actually in the same game, so I can be quick about this. You get Atlanta against Tennessee. Tennessee's going to start. Apparently, both. They're going to use both Malik Willis and Will Levis, is what Mike Vrabel said. But Atlanta's been really good at stopping the run this season. And that's what Tennessee is going to obviously try to do, which means, the weakness in Atlanta's secondary in their pass defense. That's going to go into the weakness of what Tennessee offers. So there's only a 37-point total in this game. I think Atlanta makes a ton of sense, but you could also go to Tennessee. I mean, Atlanta is the 7th best matchup for opposing defenses in adjusted fantasy points allowed. Tennessee's 8th best in pressure rate in football. Atlanta is average in pressure rate allowed. And they have the 8th worst sack rate allowed. So I think that you could consider Tennessee a defense that has a sack-based floor. Okay.
There you go.
To recap, we have Atlanta, Tennessee, the Chargers, Texans, Packers are kind of meh. McBride, Taysom Hill, Dalton Kincaid, Michael Mayer, Gerald Everett. Your 3 deep quarterback plays, Garoppolo, Minshew, and Mayfield. And then I guess we're riding Derek Carr this week as the top quarterback streamer, which is frightening. It's legitimately frightening.
But by the way, folks, you should use the Lions defense this week over the streamers.
Yes, you should. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of good defensive defensive plays in general this week, because half the NFL sucks. So when you get matchups that really split that in half, you get a lot of good defensive plays. Let's go to Twitter. We have one from last week, a question from last week that we can get to. This is from @JakeBreakBaller. It says, is there a right way to eat meals with different side items? Example, eating one item at a time or mixing it all together. People seem to think I am weird because I eat each side item one at a time.
That's not weird.
That's what my wife does. And my wife saves the best food for last whenever she eats. She eats the worst food first.
All right. Well, that's a little weird.
Yeah, she has a very real method, and food can't mix. Not a big mixer of foods.
I mean, it kind of depends. Like, if you have like mashed potatoes and like corn, you can mix those up and go ahead. But like, I don't know. I mean, if you have like salad and like salmon, are you gonna like throw that together and start eating that all at once?
No. But I would say that I don't really care what order. I'm eating whatever feels right in that moment. I'm a Neanderthal. Like just give me whatever I'm feeling in that instant. I'm gonna just go after. I don't need to save stuff. Usually there's gonna be extras or some leftovers that if I really, really want that thing more, I'm just gonna get up and get more of it.
I tend to eat. I think I do eat like one thing at a time. I don't think I may, but I don't think about it. Obviously, like I'm not like sitting there like, oh, I must finish this before I start on that. You know?
Yeah. Well, there is. I have listened to a lot of expert podcast guests and such on different shows I listen to that are like this one woman who's an expert on glucose, right? And something that she claims. I mean, this could be complete misinformation. I could be be throwing stuff out there right now. But her claim is that if you eat vegetables first, it'll lower your glucose by a decent margin while like the rest of your meal. If you go veggies first. Others have sworn by protein first, but veggies first is her method of dealing with that. But I don't If you want to eat them separate, I don't have a problem with that. But I'm fine with mixing stuff because it's all going in the same place at the end of the day, right into the toilet.
Wait, right. Poop right into the toilet. That's what it is. I'm not going to call the cops on anybody, by the way, for eating the way you want to. I mean, maybe you're disgusting about the way you eat, but mixing up or just doing one at a time, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. By the way, we're finally we're in that stage with CJ where he's eating real foods and stuff now.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And he is. It is amazing how much babies love puffs.
Oh, puffs.
Every baby loves puffs. It's to the point where, I mean, he's only 10 months old and we take the puffs away or like he finishes all the puffs and there's no more on his in his high chair.
Yeah.
And he's upset. Like he knows that there's not enough puffs on, like, that he wants more puffs. It's crazy.
You need more puffs. I remember going to the store and being like, how many containers of puffs do I think I need? And how many do I actually need? Because I think I need 2. I know I need 6.
Yeah,
So
right. 6 to 8. Yeah. You're going to need a lot. Now you got Avery who's 5 and she just gets up and just takes the container, just pours in her hand and just eating it like
You're
it's
like,
nothing.
No, you can eat stuff, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
you can have real food. You don't need to eat the puffs. All right, next one. At Justin White VA. Is there a bigger he can't keep getting away with this over the past decade than the dark magic that Mike Tomlin has done to keep the Steelers above 500? And he also says Shanahan plugging literally any quarterback into his offense, Gardner finding a way to be relevant annually, Howie out hustling every GM. Do you have any examples?
I would say that the Tomlin thing is the most unexplainable and inexplicable because I don't know how the Steelers are doing this. They're going to make the postseason again. They're just a bad team, and they're going to make the postseason. They're probably going to win a postseason game. It makes me sick.
I'm going to say, I mean, I think the how does he keep getting away with this over the last like 2 decades until he left was the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick thing, right? Like I know they lost some Super Bowls, but to get there as many times as they did and to win as many times as they did, the amount of things that just naturally, and look, I'm not taking Tom Brady's the GOAT. I'm not taking anything away, but the number of things that had to just from a variance perspective that had to go their way is sickening. It's just gross.
I agree. And of course the Patriots Super Bowl era was traumatizing for me on a personal level deeply, but that made sense to me because like Belichick, this is, before modern Belichick, who's completely lost his fastball, way behind the times, has no idea what he's doing anymore. Back then he was ahead of the game in many respects. So that made sense to me. The Tomlin thing doesn't make any sense to me because this guy still thinks it's 1997. Still is operating the same way that he did when he took over the team 20 years ago, whatever. I am just flummoxed as to how, and now after last week, JJ, when they go super run heavy and they win, what do you think they're going to do for the rest of the season? They are never going to pass it again. It's over for the pass catchers.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be the best motivator of all time.
Yeah, he really is.
He's ever walked the earth.
He really is. Say what you will about his game management, which is bad, about his general theories on like analytics, whatever, but he motivates the hell out of those dudes. So
yeah, I mean, like he, at the very least, he's at least someone who's awesome. Like Mike Tomlin is just an awesome human. Like just from what we know about Mike Tomlin,
I think Ron Rivera is a really good guy.
Yeah, he probably is,
right? and a great motivator. Probably not a good coach, but great motivator.
Yeah, but he's just not on the level of a Tomlin. Like Tomlin literally has just gotten away with doing all this by being this insane motive. I think he's a good defensive mind too. Don't get me wrong, but like being this motivator is it's wild. It's absolutely
that offense is still just pretty bad.
It's horrible. Yeah. Next question at Steak Knife it's obviously the steak knife. Electronic toothbrush or manual toothbrush? I feel like JJ is an electric toothbrush guy and Denny's a manual toothbrush kind of guy.
You're right on me. Is he right on you?
You are wrong on me.
Oh.
I got to get those forearms going,
Yeah, you got to rise and grind with the toothbrush.
Yeah, I'm not a big, like, I just never got into the electric. I had one when I was like growing up, I remember, and my wife and daughter have one, but like, I never really did it for me.
I don't, you know what? I don't need a robot to brush my teeth.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
good. I'm good just being a dude, brushing my own teeth. I trust myself more than I trust a dang robot to
Right.
brush
And
my teeth.
guess what? I went to the dentist last week, and guess how many cavities I had, Denny? I had
16.
zero cavities. Guess how many cavities I've ever had, Denny?
0?
Zero cavities.
Oh, I think I did know that. I hate you for that.
Well, I've now, as an adult, learned that cavities are often more genetic than anything else.
They better be, because I have always taken good care of my teeth, and I have had no less than 20 cavities in my life.
Really.
20.
I think there's some people that just get lots of cavities.
I think so. Do you use a water pick? Rich in our mentions is asking this.
No, yeah. I mean, I've used like is that like the stuff that like the plastic thing
Yeah.
with the
No. A water pick is actually something that shoots a stream of
Oh, the
water.
thing that shoots the water. Okay, yeah. I got you. I had a little brain fart there. No, I use the little plastic things
Okay.
that have the floss on the end of it.
I like those, but they break off in my teeth because my teeth are so close together. They're too
I
close
got you.
together.
Yeah.
So I have to use the super strong floss. So everybody knows that about me now.
All right, next question. Denny, let everyone know that it's so embarrassing, Denny, that you use super strong floss. What an embarrassing thing to admit.
I mean, my teeth are they're jam packed, folks. We have very little room in the between the old teeth.
Jamar makes a good point. He says can't get cavities if you're gluten, soy, and dairy free.
Is that?
I don't know if you guys have heard, but I am gluten, dairy, and soy free.
Also, Jamar, I think that's not analytics. I'm not sure that that's true.
Hey, N=1 correlation is also 100%. I think it might be true. Next question at zip code. As a Lions fan, I've never felt hope before.
Wow.
I'm just picturing this like as a general like I'm a Lions fan, so I've never been hopeful for anything in my life.
For anything.
Nothing has been worth getting excited about. That's tough, but it also means I never really felt sports disappointment before. Is it dumb to be nervous about that flip side of having a fun and good team?
No, don't be nervous. Accept the pain into your heart. It's part of the trade-off for having a contending team. And they're good. They're a good team.
Yeah, look, as someone who grew up in Pittsburgh, we would win all the time. And I know the feeling. I'm only half kidding whenever
No, you're right though. The Steelers are literally never bad.
The Steelers have won 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime. The Penguins have won 4. I mean, it's been, or 5, I guess I should say. It's been I was just really young whenever the first 2 happened. But yeah, I mean, like that, like I've gotten to the point though where like you can call me a bandwagon fan, but I don't really get upset whenever my teams lose. I don't really care. Like it doesn't over, like, of course I want to experience the joy of the victory and getting getting belligerent and overly drunk after while celebrating.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, but like, look, I mean, it's fun to do that, and it's fun to have that excitement. But at the end of the day, like if your team loses, it's not the end of the world. It just doesn't matter that much.
It's not. In fact, folks, I hate to say it to you, it doesn't matter at all. Besides the meaning that you imbue it with. So remember.
Next question at Vontae_Mac. It says, if you needed a touchdown drive of 80 yards to save Earth, would you rather Tyson Bagent, whose only kryptonite is apparently the Colorado School of Mines, or Derek Carr, who can't read defenses but feels compelled to yell at Olave for not catching a ball 7 yards out of bounds?
All right. Well, if we could address the Olave thing on Thursday night for folks who didn't see it, Carr threw one deep. Olave was running deep. It was way out of bounds. It was a bad throw, but Carr lost his mind because Olave didn't seem to be engaged in the play. Now, Michael Thomas, who apparently doesn't talk to his own teammate, Chris Olave, he took to X.
Wait, what is that? I didn't hear about this.
So Michael Thomas took to X and explained that in no situation was Olave an actual read on that play. So Olave was just running a clear out route downfield. And the fact that he wasn't like hustling his butt off to get toward the ball, near the ball, which was also by the way, bad throw, was not his fault, apparently, according to Michael Thomas. but it didn't look good. The optics were not great.
Definitely not great. But I don't think I think a lot of times though, like the media, shocking, the media makes too big of a deal out of, you know, the blow ups on the sidelines and stuff like that. Like if you're in an environment with like friends or something like if you're comfortable around those people, let's say, and you're in this hostile environment where it's physical and you have like your T is super high, like of course there's going to be blow ups on the sideline. And so I don't know. I think that kind of stuff is blown way out of proportion most of the time.
Yeah, I do too.
But yeah, I mean, I would say that I would rather have Derek Carr than Tyson Bagent right now.
Let's get real. It's Carr.
Yeah. Next question at Mana_dork. Would you rather only be allowed to wear 3-piece suits or pajamas for the rest of your life?
Oh, that's a horrible choice.
No, it's an easy one for me.
I know. You go with the pajamas.
I'm going pajama. What do you need a 3-piece suit for?
I don't know, but
what are we all right, first off though, are we defining pajamas as like onesies?
Wait, what'd you say? You
like are we defining pajamas as I gotta wear a freaking onesie? Like, or is it like I can wear gym shorts and a hoodie or a t-shirt?
Oh no. You don't get away with that.
Okay.
No,
okay.
you gotta wear legit like baby pajamas.
Okay, well, I'm still wearing the pajamas.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do that. I think I have to go with the suit.
Is it because of going out and doing literally anything?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think the obvious choice here is the 3-piece suit if the onesie is our alternative here for pajamas.
I just don't know if my inner like conservative American male can deal with wearing pajamas.
Yeah, look. Yes, you could get away with wearing a 3-piece suit anywhere. You can't get away with wearing pajamas. Like you literally will not be able to go places if you have pajamas. Now Bethany says no gym shorts, but you can have 2-piece pajamas.
Right.
Which is fine, but I still think 3-piece suit is probably the answer if this is the direction that we're going here.
I mean, I wear a suit to watch football on Sundays, you know, like a real man. So, you know,
Rich says that you have to wear a stocking cap and carry a candle everywhere too.
Like Scrooge.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think 3-piece suit's the answer there. Next question at Didymus. How many costumes do your kids and partners have for all the 69 different neighborhoods, school, zoo, playground, falafel shop, trick or treat events in the week before actual Halloween? Do you recycle like KC with Miko Hardman, or do you have a new one for each, like the Cardinals running backs?
Folks, you listen, this year I actually told the kids, I said, look, guys, we are getting one costume this year. And you can wear that as many times as you want, to as many events as you want, whatever. But we're getting one. And I'm here to tell you right now that I did not stick by my guns. And now they have multiple freaking Halloween costumes, and I'm out $200+. Man,
we haven't run into the issue yet because obviously CJ is too young to talk. And then he is saying like dad, which is cute. And then Avery doesn't seem to care too much about having multiple costumes. Like it's not, and we're still in the family costume phase, which I hope never goes away because it's super, super fun. And we are being Mario characters this year. I sent you the picture of CJ wearing the Toad costume. CJ is going to be Toad. I'm going to be Mario. My wife's Luigi, and Avery's Princess Peach.
That's perfect, man. We did that Halloween 2011. I was Toad. My brother was Wario for some reason, which is pretty random.
The word Wario has to be like power ranked like the worst character in Mario franchise.
The worst, but it works because
Waluigi's worse, but Wario's down there.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I messed up. He was actually Waluigi.
Oh God, what is he thinking? What is he doing?
Yeah, the purple one, right?
Yeah, Waluigi's the purple one. Yeah.
So that and then my sister-in-law was Luigi. My wife was Mario, and it was so fun. We have so many cool pictures, so I'm happy for you guys.
Have you seen that one viral video of the kid in a classroom wearing a Mario costume and the teachers yelling at him? Have you seen this? You know what I'm talking about? And the teacher's yelling at him. He's like, "You've been talking like Mario all day." Like he can't take it anymore. And then the kid's just sitting there. And he goes, "Mamma mia!" It's so good.
No way.
It's so good.
Oh, that's so good. Oh my god.
Even if it's like staged, it's hilarious.
What's he saying? It's a Mario.
But like that's the thing. Whenever like I'm gonna be obnoxious like that whenever I'm wearing that costume.
So you're Mario.
I'm Mario. Yeah, I'm Mario. And the costumes we got, they're like onesies, like they were cheap on Amazon or something. And the hat, the plumber hat, is way too small for my big head. And so I don't know. I'm gonna have to like cut it or something to like open it up in the back. Like something's got to go down.
You better wear it. You better wear it.
I'm gonna wear it.
I don't want to hear any excuses. Get that thing on your big old dome. That you got to wear it.
I will wear it. I will wear it. I take a lot of pride in our family costumes. Like last year we were in Encanto. The year before that we did Peppa Pig with Aves, and then this year we got. I mean, like you have a 10-month-old baby. You got to have the baby be Toad. Like how perfect is that, right? Next question.
Yeah.
At JKeen22. Did JJ's internet go out when he answered the team standing or team sitting to wipe question? Because in my opinion, you guys really never did a deep dive on the topic, and it's definitely more controversial than you think. So yeah, my internet did go out whenever that was going on. You answered it, I believe, a little bit on the show. I've become, let me say this. I've become more accepting of team stand.
Really?
I have. I've become more accepting of it. Not because I'm doing it, but I can at least understand doing it if you have certain, I'll just say it, certain poop that comes out. Certain, like you can't do it with other poop because some of that, you would risk that some of that like going somewhere. but certain poop I think is okay to do the stand. Now, I'm not doing it. I don't think that it's the most appropriate way to wipe your A, but I think it's at least some semi acceptable.
I feel like the most efficient, cleanest way is to wipe the S from your A while sitting.
Wipe your what? Wipe the S from your A. Okay, I got you.
While sitting. I mean, we would really have to get disgusting here to really talk about this on a deep level. I just don't. I think I did that as a kid. I'm going to say stand up. I mean,
yeah.
And obviously, look, this person obviously is standing all the time. So I'm not trying to like judge this person. I just don't get it myself.
Someone says the real answer is to get a bidet attachment. You had the bidet. Do you still have the bidet?
Yeah, we have bidets on every toilet. I'm not using that.
Yeah, see, I still need to get the bidet. I haven't gotten one.
No, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. You literally soak your entire lower body.
What's wrong with that? What little wetness going on?
You want to have to towel off after every poop?
I mean, maybe your bidet is a little broken, bro.
No. You have to have immaculate aim. You have to be a damn sniper.
Yeah, Denny, that's called a shower. I think are you taking dumps in the shower?
I think I am actually. I apologize for that. Yeah.
Next question. At 2 high safeties, what's your go-to casual sitting position? Ankle on knee, arm on back of adjacent cushion, slouching.
Wait, on a couch?
Yeah, I'm picturing on a couch. Yes, your casual sitting position. I feel like me on a couch is I'm like laid back, like laying back kind of on my side, just like not, I mean, I have no sort of form to my like back. If I had any sort of spinal problem, I'm at least trending in that direction by the way that I lay on the couch.
I try to be upright, but I think the couch itself will make it so that I can't be totally upright. I slouch a lot on the couch.
Let me ask you this. If you're in a setting, let's say that there's 4 chairs in a circle, okay? And you're in a setting where you get drinks, okay? You and 3 bros are getting some drinks. We're at the Fantasy Football Expo in Canton, Ohio.
All right.
And there's 4 of us hanging out there. You go and sit down on the chair. How are you sitting?
Oh, okay. I'm sitting with my right leg crossed over my left.
Crossed all the way or ankle on knee?
No, crossed all the way.
Oh, you go all the way. See, I don't think I can do that. I I get I sometimes even sit like this when I'm podcasting is I have right ankle on knee. Like I'm doing it right now. Right ankle's on knee right now. I feel like we're playing Twister or something.
Right ankle on knee.
Yeah. You put your leg up and then you make like a the number 4.
Okay, JJ, I'm sorry. You're right. That's what I'm doing right now. That's how I would do it. Yes, that's right.
Okay, you're not saying all the way crossed.
No, I'm not.
I'm thinking about you like pinching your pee a little bit, you know?
No, no, I'm not doing that. For multiple reasons. But yeah, I have my ankle on my knee. That's right.
Yeah, ankle on knee is an appropriate male stance. I was just surprised by your total leg cross situation there.
Oh no, I'm not.
I feel like I handled that well. Did I handled it well? That you said that you were sitting.
You did. You did. You could have gotten canceled, I think, if you had handled it poorly. I'm not Sharon Stone from that '90s movie, whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a full leg. Someone says in chat says, "Okay, thank God." Yeah, I mean that's a lot. You gotta have a little breathing room there. That's just a lot of action. Man, I don't think I've sat like that in this life, at least. I don't think I've sat like that. But all right, we'll move on to the next one. That was a little bit too much.
Basic Instinct is the movie I was thinking of.
This is from Manadork again. There are 12 teams without a Super Bowl. If you got to choose one of them to win one sometime in the next few years at the cost of another never winning one, which 2 teams would you choose? So teams that never win a Super Bowl, I'll read them aloud for you. Okay. This is a quick Google search because I can't think of this off the top of my head. All right, we got the Cardinals, Falcons, Bills, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Lions, Texans, Jags, Chargers, Vikings, Titans. I have my answer. You want me to go with my answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want the Panthers to win because I live in Charlotte. That's an easy one. If you want me to go with a different one, that's fine. No. And I want the Browns to never win. And it's not even because of my Steeler fandom. It's more so it's just such a part of the NFL experience is the Browns screwing up that it's just so much fun, right? Like the whole Deshaun Watson thing, it's easy to root for their demise.
Yes.
Just all of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, I'm rooting for the Browns never to win because of the Watson thing. Also, the world makes more sense when the Browns are not winning.
That's right.
Yeah. And then I'll choose the Lions because their fans are so long suffering. There have been so many seasons where they've entered the season as maybe one of a handful of teams that have zero hope, like no prospects for that season. And so for them to win one, I think would be cool for those fans.
And then the Browns are your loser.
Yeah.
So we have the ultimate loser as the Browns.
Oh, okay.
All right, we got one more. This is from @the Bofva. That's definitely wrong. What scary movie scarred you as a child? It was The Exorcist for me, is what he says.
Oh, Exorcist messed me up. I actually saw the re-release in theaters in 2000. I saw it with my friend. We saw a midnight showing, and I came out of that theater rattled. I mean, like legit very scared. I actually didn't sleep that night. It was very scary. But I was 17 at the time, so I wasn't exactly a kid. I saw a clip of a Freddy Krueger movie when I was like 8, and that messed me up pretty good.
You want to know what messed me up? I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but it's been probably years since I talked about it. Growing up, my mom watched Days of Our Lives. Okay, the soap opera Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, I can't wait to see where this is going.
On that show, there's a character named Marlena. Okay, Marlena, I think people on soap operas have literally been on the soap operas for 40 years. Like, not even hyperbole. Like, that's literally just what they've done for the last 40 years. But there's a character named Marlena. You should Google it right now. Everyone listening, Google this right now. Marlena, Days of Our Lives, demon possessed. They had a whole storyline of her being possessed by the devil. And I was like 6 years old when this was all going on. Wow. And I would sit there while my brother and sister were at school, and I was coming home from our before PM kindergarten, and I would watch this, and she had a deep voice. They altered her voice. And ever since then, I've had this insane fear. You know what scares me more than anything is like some sort of ghostly figure woman with like long hair wearing like a white dress, like floating.
And that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the images right now.
Oh my God.
And she's floating.
Thing. Yeah, it's frightening. And her voice is really deep. You guys should YouTube these clips too. It's out of control. And this is like the early 90s when this was going on.
Wow.
When this kind of like voice alteration and stuff was not like this common thing that people did on freaking TikTok, you know, and there's no AI, there's no bots that are just creating these random voices. It was frightening and it scarred me for life. And I let my mom know about it every time I see her.
That, not to be dramatic, but Mom, you ruined me. Yeah, I'm looking at these images and I'm shocked that they allowed this on network TV. This is
oh my gosh, it was ridiculous. And I still remember. So do you remember, you know how I have my stupid memory about 90s television commercials, right? I have the same memory for lines from Days of Our Lives.
Really?
Yeah, there's just some lines that pop into my head every once in a while, remembering there was this, but the big storyline then was John Black with this woman Marlena, and he was trying to get her unpossessed by the devil. But I remember one time, like the one line I always remember is that she was strapped to the bed, tied up to the bed because she was going to get exorcised. So she's tied to the bed, and he was like, someone was like, or Marlena was like, can you get me a water? And the person responds and says, get it yourself. Cause he was just like, you know, so mad at Marlena and then she looks at him as a possessed human and she goes, can't you see? I'm a little tied up. She was physically tied to the, that stuff scared me, man. It scared me.
I'm looking at the images. She has red eyes. She's floating above the bed. Yeah, that's frightening. I mean, exorcist stuff is frightening. I will be honest. Yeah. I've seen several exorcism movies, including one called The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
I remember that. Yeah, I didn't see it, but I remember when that came out. Yeah.
I mean, it's a bad movie, but it's still, I mean, that concept freaks you out. I mean, at least it really does get me. By the way, if folks are looking for a scary movie to watch, I mean, I can suggest more than this, but Exorcist 3 is actually pretty good.
How many are there?
I don't know. I beyond 3, I don't know if there are any. There was a TV show in 2015 that was terrible.
So are you saying that? So I don't think I've only seen the original one, I think, and it was a long time ago. Are you saying that the third Exorcist is the best one?
No.
Okay.
First one is best by far.
Because I don't think there's a third movie in a trilogy or beyond trilogy that's ever been the best.
No. Oh God.
In the history of cinema.
I mean, Halloween 3, maybe.
Okay, but, there you go. Well, that's good. I don't know anything about the Halloween franchise,
but it got away from the main theme of 1 and 2, and people got really mad about it. But folks, we're back. 20 or 35 years later, we're back. Halloween 3 is the one to watch.
All right, Denny. That's the last question for today. Why don't you let everyone know they can find you?
Yeah, at CDCarter13 on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I'm on Blue Sky. You can find my regression files piece on NBCSports.com on Wednesday morning.
I'm also on Blue Sky, by the way. I am on Blue Sky.
JJ, we have major doubts. I've talked to many people about it. We don't think you are.
I'm on Blue Sky. I don't tweet on Blue Sky. What do you do on Blue Sky? Do you sky? Do you? I don't know.
You know what you do? JJ, you skeet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you skeet? Is that what they're calling it? Yeah, yep. Skeeting. I am on Twitter though at Late Round QB. All my work over on lateround.com. I saw you sent a tilt montage. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a fun one.
All right, well then I will throw that in at the end of the episode. Thanks for listening, everyone. We will talk to you next week.
Thank you for listening to Living the Stream. We hope you enjoyed the internet podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes now. It won't take long, it's fast. For more fantasy football info, check out
LateRound.com and NBC Sports Edge.
Hope you come back soon as we share about the team.